At Great Wolf Lodge, there's adventure for the whole family. You and your pack can splash away in the indoor water park where it's always 84 degrees. There's a massive wave pool, a lazy river, and tons of water slides for your pack to enjoy together. And the fun doesn't stop there. Get ready to explore and play at adventure-packed attractions from Magi Quest, a live-action game that takes place throughout the lodge, to the Northern Lights Arcade. There's also a bunch of great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. And the best part? With 22 lodges across the country, you're always only a short drive away from adventure. So bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Book your stay today at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack.
Kids, listen to your mother.
Mom!
Welcome to Between Us Moms with Katie Crafts-Morg and Hallie Stevens-Drake.
Hey mamas, today's guest is someone you love watching on TikTok, Instagram, and of course, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, where she has become a fan favorite. She is gorgeous, she keeps it so real, and she's redefining what modern motherhood looks like. She's a single mom of two, and with Mother's Day right around the corner, we are so excited to welcome back Miranda Hope to the podcast.
Woo!
Thank you. That was so nice.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So excited. We love a birthday around here. We're going to dive right into it because Mother's Day is coming up and it's a day about celebration and happiness. And we're curious, when do you feel your happiest and your most confident?
Honestly, it probably is when I'm just at home with my kids. If you know me, you know that I don't if it's not work related, I don't really get out much. I just am such a homebody these days, and I think a lot of it is because I feel like my work it's a lot, and it's a lot more social than some jobs, and so I feel like I just get burnout if I push my limits too much, and so when I'm not working, I love just being home with my kids, and it's kind of like my sanctuary, and I feel like that's probably when I would say I feel the most at peace, happy, and confident even.
Yeah, I totally feel that. How would you describe this era of your life right now? I think on the podcast, we talk a lot about what we want, need, and deserve. So even beyond that, what do you feel like you want, need, and deserve this Mother's Day?
Honestly, probably more alone time. Probably more time at my home, just being alone. No, I feel like I think that what I want and also what I even feel like I deserve is just more intentional relationships, more intentional time with myself, but with others, and more intentional time with my kids. Just a lot more present and intentional time with people that I feel like are really aligned with who I am and my values and morals. And I would say overall that's probably at least one of the first things that come to mind. It's just more intentional time with the people that I love and doing the things that I love.
You're in your intentional era.
Yes, very much
Yes,
so.
your aligned era. We love to see that.
Yes, sovereign girl era.
Who in your life is showing up for you the most right now? As a single mom, who makes Mother's Day the most special for you?
Ooh, I mean, probably my kids, first of all. They're so sweet. They just on my birthday even, they were just so sweet, and they brought me coffee in bed, and which also shout out to my co-parent for helping them make that possible. Uh, but I just put it on all my kids. I'm yeah, they DoorDashed the coffee and everything, and
Savvy.
yeah, I'll give credit where credit is due, I suppose. Uh, but no, they were just so sweet the whole day. And so I would say for sure my kids, but also I'm the youngest of four girls, and so my mom and my sisters for sure, we all became mothers together, and we've all of them just had newborns, and so it's just been fun to also even though I'm pretty well removed from the newborn stage at this point, it's been so fun to still be an aunt and be involved in newborn phase to some capacity, but I'm not the one staying up all night. having the support system of one another, and that's like one of the best things about having sisters. And my mom had the four of us from 5 years, so which I know I'm like I don't know, nobody was checking on you during that time apparently because there's no son. But I love it now. I mean, obviously we're all best friends and it's so fun. And so I would say like definitely my kids and like my sisters and my mom are like the first people that come to mind. I have plenty of like amazing friends as well, but those are probably the first ones.
Wait, do you miss the newborn phase? My husband and I were talking about this last night. Like, could we do it again? And my kids are so like itty bitty, and I think I'm just like not a newborn. It's just so hard for me.
It's a lot. And in fact, I think about the fact that if I were to get remarried and have more children, I feel like it would be hard for me to like go that far back because I'm just so far out of it now that I just feel like to where it like feels like a fever dream a little bit that I'm
Yeah.
like I would be doing it all over again for the first time.
Right?
Um,
I'm
it
like
would be
bottles what? And
Yeah.
up every 3 hours, swaddling.
No,
Yeah.
it's a lot, honestly. And I love the stage of motherhood that I'm in right now and like where my kids are right now. It's just been so fun. But there are things I love about the newborn stage, but I always say that like once they're like 8 months old is like when you really start like enjoying motherhood. That's like at least for me, like you start to feel more like yourself, like mentally, physically, and like emotionally, and then they're like interacting more and they can sit up and like they're giving you smiles and it's not just like give only. They're like you're receiving the love that they also have for you. It's being reciprocated. So it's just a fun stage. And they start sleeping better around that time. So I would say that's like when motherhood really starts to become more enjoyable. Not that like it's not newborn stage isn't enjoyable. You're just more delusional because you're
Yeah.
sleeping.
I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When they like can smile back at you and like they start to like get mobile a little bit on their own, you're like, oh, you are, there's more to this than just like you staring at me and me like trying to give you bottles or nurse or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more of their own person, but like you develop that relationship. And I think that's where it's like so exciting because it's like it's fun to like I always tease my kids. I'm like, "Oh, like who said you could grow up? Why are you getting so big? Like you guys are supposed to be tiny forever." Like I just tease them, but I always make sure to follow it up with like obviously that it's a joke and that I there's nothing I love more than watching them grow up and like watching them experience new things and as like you like mourn that like those stages, but at the same time I'm like every new stage is so fun and so exciting and like watching them they're in sports now and watching them do that is like so great and so awesome. And it's the same thing when they're babies and they start crawling and whatnot. It's like, oh, this is crazy that they're growing up so fast, but then it's also like such a fun and sweet experience to like have the opportunity to watch them experience new things. It's like such an exciting part of parenthood.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
You mentioned like, if you were to get married and have more kids, what is dating like right now as a single mom? And do you feel like, I know we're here a little bit for DoorDash today, like could DoorDash constitute as like a date night?
Oh my gosh, that's actually my dream date. It's like, let me, maybe not like first date. Like, I feel like that's maybe like once you're like seeing each other. Because I don't know if like first date, I'd be like, yeah, let's like stay in and door. But if like it's somebody that I'd been seeing and they like planned a DoorDash night and was like, let's just watch a movie, DoorDash some food. That's like, I mean, that's like, those are the date nights I have with myself all the time. In fact,
Yeah.
like the night of my birthday, like my friends were like, do you want us to come over? And I'm like, honestly, love you guys so much. I think like watch a show and DoorDash something.
Right? For my husband too. It's hard to find time for like date nights. We're like, should we just order in? Really just go for it, order in maybe a glass of wine and like get in our PJs.
No, that's
Yeah.
literally like peak
Luxury.
luxury. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It really is. Totally. How do you show up for your friends, especially in hard times, on Mother's Day?
I this isn't necessarily just for Mother's Day, but speaking of DoorDash, I just had two friends that just had a baby, and I sent them both DoorDash gift cards, just like texted it to them because like the thing is like my schedule right now is so crazy that I'm not able to like physically be there in the way that I want to. Same with like my sisters when they all had their babies, I'm like, I would love to be able to just up and like come and like stay there because I only have none of my sisters live that close to me. The like closest one is over an hour away. So I can't just like go whenever to go help them out. And it like makes me so sad that I can't do that anymore, but I want to be able to support them and be there for them, in whatever way I can. And so for me, like a surefire way to help myself feel better about not being there, but also like help them feel good and help them feel seen as well is just to send them like a DoorDash gift card. And whether it's like food they want to get or if they're like, oh, we're low on diapers, like I need to DoorDash some diapers or whatever, like that's obviously up to them. But just the convenience of knowing that like it's not on them and that like, I got this, like let me help you out. That's for me like always like my go-to because I know like how much it means to me when people do that for me as well.
Yeah.
People did that for me postpartum, and I was like, thank you. Like, honestly, that's all you need.
Nice too. It's just like, hey, I don't know what you want. Like, I don't want to have to be like, hey, like send me like your dinner or like I want you to be able to pick whatever you want and not have to be like, oh, like I hope like it's okay if I pick this or that or what, I'm like, no, you do what you want.
I feel like sending gift cards and also like funny memes
Oh,
is like,
these are unmatched.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the last mom talk mom that you sent a funny meme to, and what was that meme?
Oh, for sure, Layla. Oh, what was it? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at our texts, but there's always a meme being used at literally at all times.
Fair, same for us.
Yeah. Have
Everybody.
you seen any of the memes that have been made from you from the show? And is there one that's your favorite?
Oh, probably the yeesh. The yeesh.
Yeesh.
Oh.
But yeah, yeesh. I think that one got made into a GIF as well,
Yeah.
where people like the yeesh. Uh, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's one of my favorites. That one
yeah.
or the claw, the like lobster claw from season 2 is always
Oh my
a
God, I
So,
loved
so
that.
I remember. Yeah, so good. Do you feel a certain pressure to like keep up a certain version of yourself for your audience online, especially now because yeah, you do get turned into memes and people do have things to say and they comment and I'm curious what that pressure feels like.
No, just because I feel like I think I've really come into like my like the most authentic version of myself and like it's so nice to feel like I can just be myself and then it's a lot easier to handle criticism and hate or backlash when you're like, well, I was being myself. Like to me, I feel like being misunderstood was the hardest part like before the show when I was just on social media. I think that was one of the hardest things is that I'm like I don't think my character is being fully understood, and I think that's what was difficult because I'm like, if someone hates me for like me being myself, I'm like totally fine. I'm just not your cup of tea. That's like 100%. But if it's like I'm being portrayed or showing up as a version that's not myself, I think I like that's disappointing to me just because I'm like at least like let me show you who I really am. But I think like through doing the show and through like, a lot of other life experiences, I think I've really dropped a pretty hefty front that I had up for a long time. I think with like being in a marriage that was crumbling at the time and also, like religious expectations and things like that. I think like through working through all of those things and coming out on the other side, I think I've really come into the most authentic version of myself. And it's just been really freeing to be able to show up as me. And if something's like memeable, great. Like, but it's not, I don't have to like try to be memeable or try not to be, or, it's just like whatever I do is what shall be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great perspective to have though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you could DoorDash something special to each of the moms in Mom Talk, what would you send? Starting with Whitney.
With Whitney, I would do, I was gonna say Fruity Pebbles, but maybe that would be, just because we talk right now, we'll go Fruity Pebbles for Whitney.
Love it. What about Layla?
I don't even know if I can say this on here, but the coochie joint from season 2,
Oh,
that would, that would probably be, I don't even, you can even DoorDash that probably, so
Yeah.
maybe, I'm like, I don't know if that'll even work, so maybe we'll go with, oh, Sour Gushers for Layla.
good.
Clutch. Love that. What about Jessie?
Probably a swig. Anything that's like super sugary. She's like a candy girly.
What about Taylor?
Taylor would probably be coffee or an Alani. Probably an Alani.
Michaela?
I would probably be something like wellness related for Michaela, just because she's our like holistic girly.
And then we have Macy and then Jen.
Macy, I would probably do like crumble. I feel like Jen is a like not just coffee, but specifically like Starbucks like coffee egg bites. I think that's well, right off the top of my head, those are like what I would go with, I think.
Okay.
Every mom needs caffeine.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Live off
Yeah.
it. And then I know we're almost out of time, but we have a quick lightning round for you. It's called Miranda Hope Gives Us Hope.
I love.
And then they're just like quick rapid fire. So, one small way that moms can hold on to hope on the hardest days.
Ooh, I think just leaning into your village. I think, whether it be the people that you have with you in your life, that you're surrounded with in your day to day, or even just like moms online, I think that's something that's been a really, there's obviously a dark side to social media, but there's also a beautiful side to it as well, where we've been able to see the community of not even just motherhood, but like womanhood in general, really come together and be a united front. And I think it's been such a beautiful thing to see. And I think about how many times, even since I just first became a mom to now, when I would be wondering about something with my kids and you just type it into TikTok and there's, all these moms sharing their experiences and stuff. And I think it's just, and you could do that in Google, but there's something about having the real experiences from another mother that is just like so like heartwarming and validating. So I think like leaning into the people in your life for that validation and for that information as well, but also like using and taking advantage of your community online for that as well is great.
I love that. One mindset shift that brings hope into co-parenting.
I think like it's so important to let go of control. And I think it's so difficult to do that, especially as a mother. And especially when you go from being like a stay-at-home mom, right, to like now I'm a working mom and a single mom all at the same time. And I think it's hard to, and I think it also depends on your personality, but like I'm the type of personality where it's really difficult for me to delegate. It's really difficult for me to ask for help. And it's something I've been forced into getting better at. And I've had to realize that it's okay to do that. And, what's the point of having a village if you're not going to take advantage of that? But I think that like, trusting those who do want to help you and letting them into your life enough to where they can help out with your children and that goes for your co-parent as well. And obviously everybody's situation is different. Not everybody's co-parents are the same, and some people don't have the luxury of necessarily co-parenting but have to like parallel parent. But I think like no matter what, if you don't have your kids with you at all times, there is a level of control that you inevitably have to let go of. And I think that was a really difficult thing for me to learn. And still is. It's something I still have a hard time with. But I do feel like once you can kind of let go of that and, start trusting in, your co-parent or like, the other people that you have around you helping raise your children, you can start feeling more peace and more hope in your dynamic with your co-parent.
That's good.
You're so evolved.
I know, truly.
Like I feel like I've lived like 7 lives at this point, honestly.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we all need to be more like Miranda. What's one reminder for moms who feel like they're failing, like one little piece of hope?
To start out with, I guess there's good news and bad news here. Bad news is that you're always going to feel that way. That's just the unfortunate part of mom guilt. Mom guilt never goes away, it just changes shape. Like that's what I've realized is that like, even when I was a stay-at-home mom and I was with my kids 24/7, I still had mom guilt. It just has like shifted into like looking differently now.
Yeah.
But it's always there. But one thing remains the same, and that is that I know like deep down that I'm doing a better job than I think I am a lot of the time. And sometimes like that's not like at the forefront of your mind. But sometimes when like things slow down and like your mind quiets or like right after you get your kids down or whatever, like you'll have moments where you're like, okay, I'm doing better than I think I am. Or you'll have like a random mom, like I had an older lady in a grocery store once compliment me on like a parenting situation where I was like trying to like teach my daughter something, and she came up to me and like was just saying how great she thought that interaction was and how special she thought it was. And I like literally started crying because I was like, I've like been so overwhelmed today. And I'm like, thank you so much. That was so sweet. Like you didn't have to say that. And so you'll have little things like that just will come up that you're like, okay, no, like I got this. And like clinging to those rather than the times where you're like, I'm failing, like I'm not good enough. Because, unfortunately, you're always going to feel that way, one level or another, like throughout the parenting journey, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. One green flag that makes you believe in love after heartbreak.
I'm like, Yeah, you know what? I will say, like, I don't really date like much at all, but I did date someone after my divorce for a while. And although, like, I don't feel like we were, obviously, like, it didn't work out in the end, but I do feel like there were some things about him that, like, definitely showed me that there are, like, men out there that are capable of, exhibiting a healthy and, like, secure love. And I feel like, oftentimes you put yourself out there and you're reminded of like how awful so many men are and how like relationships aren't, so great. But again, like I think just like you'll stumble upon times where you're reminded that you're a good mom, sometimes you'll stumble upon people, and not just even in men in general, but like even just in your platonic friendships as well. I think that like, there are a lot of people in general in my life that, as dirty as I feel like I've been done, by like some, at the end of the day, there's always like more love in my life than like I'm just so grateful for than there is negative, and I'm just so grateful for that. And I think whether it's, love or actions exhibited from a man, or a partner, or just like even, my platonic friendships or my family, I think just like being surrounded by those people and like those dynamics in general give me hope that there is a possibility for me to find more of that in my life.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, girl.
One way to rebuild hope after a friendship breakup.
Oh, I don't really feel like I've ever had to rebuild hope after a friendship breakup. I feel like I personally believe that every friendship fallout happens for a reason. I think that like, there are ebbs and flows of relationships, but like I've never felt like because I've lost a friend, like I needed to have, find hope again in order to let more friends in. For me, I think my circle's just gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. Not to say that I'm not open to the idea of creating more friendships, but I'm never looking for more friendships. I think that like it's quality over quantity. And for the people that like fade away, for the people that I, have unfortunately had to distance myself from, I think that that's to me, I'm like God's plan, and it is what it is. And like the more time goes on, the more I'm like, no, that was definitely like for the best. That served me, and like I'm actually better off now. And so I think that like for me, I'm like there is a level of like grief and mourning, but then once you get over that hump, it's just kind of like, okay, like I still have these other friends that are so great, and like why do I need to be surrounded by so many friends in order to feel like happy and secure? I don't. I think that my level of like hope, I think, is in that regard mostly just stayed where it's at, and it's been pretty easy to just be like, okay, like it's for the best, and like I usually know that from the jump, or soon after the fallout.
Our guts are never wrong either.
Yeah.
Trust it. One mantra you come back to when life feels overwhelming.
I think that I've always figured it out before. Like that's like, when I'm like, well, how am I going to do this, or how am I going to like, I've always figured it out before. So what makes this time any different? And like when things are really stressful, or I don't know how I'm going to make something work or figure it out, I've always figured it out before. And so I think for me, it's a good reminder to kind of like recenter me and bring me back to like the present moment of like, why am I so worried when I've never not figured it out at this point. Like I've gotten this far in life, and it's even when it's felt like it's not working out, it's worked out. And so I think just like, showing up in the best way that I can, and trusting in myself and the fact that I have, gone through all these things and I am where I am now, and I haven't completely fallen apart entirely, at least. Or maybe I have, and I've come back together. It's all worked out, and so I think that's probably one of them for sure.
And lastly, fill in the blank. Right now, hope feels like.
Ooh, hope feels like a slow, sunny Sunday morning to me, where it's just like the window's open, the birds are chirping, you're drinking your coffee, and it's just like you just know, like internally, that there's like it's a good day, there's good coming. Like that's like the best way I feel like I can like describe what I feel like hope feels like
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, well, you're just the best. And we're so grateful that you took the time. So thank you so much. And we hope that you have an amazing, amazing Mother's Day. I know your co-parent and your kids are going to show up for you tenfold. So we're just,
Thank you so much. I
yeah.
appreciate it. You guys as well. Happy early Mother's Day to you too.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. We'll see you soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope your upcoming Sunday is windows open, birds chirping.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Between Us Moms.
Don't forget to follow us for more mom content and good conversations on all the socials.
We're also on Substack and have a newsletter filled with tips, tea, meal ideas, and mom stuff you won't want to miss.
And we've got a secret Facebook group to connect and talk even more.
Go find us.